Want a game that has a huge open world? A game with a tacked on RPG mechanic? A game that, while the gunplay isn't the best, its amazing dialogue trees and amount of unique characters make up for it? Then you want to play Boiling Point. I know I say this way too much, but 2005 is my favorite video game year, mainly due to the sheer number of releases that I love. Chilling behind all these games I hold dear is a Ukrainian-developed game. Russia and Ukraine are interesting game developers. While we get Stalker and Il-2 Sturmovik, we also get big rigs, over-the-road racing, and Postal 3, complete opposite ends of the quality spectrum. This is important for understanding this review of Boiling Point. Boiling Point is about a French Foreign Legion veteran's daughter getting kidnapped in South America and you gotta go get her. Yeah, it's generic, but so is Call of Duty plots, and we hold those dear. The crazy thing is that the main character is voiced by the Mummy. Yeah, the original Mummy, not that crappy Tom Cruise movie that released recently. Like most of the titles that hail from the East, Boiling Point is extremely buggy and relies heavily on mods. Boiling Point is especially buggy than most, however. It does add some level of entertainment and humor, but some of the bugs are so bad that it requires a patch. Look at all the stuff the patch fixes. Even if you're somebody who's entertained by bugs, get the patch. The game has potential to break, soft locking or hard locking the whole game. This just basically means that the game might mess up and you can't progress further in the plot. Seriously, get the patch. But even with the patch, there is still a massive amount of issues. Not only bugs, but just overall stability. Every time I exit the game, the main menu won't disappear and I got to restart my PC. The game also runs so badly that I feel like any moment it's just going to break. One minute I'm running at like 30 frames per second, next minute it drops, then it stutters, and then, oh okay, we're back to normal. This is the reason Boiling Point is considered a horrible game, the performance. But the actual gameplay is what keeps me and a few other fans around. It is a seamless open world. There are no loading screens on the map. You can go from point A to point B without stopping. A lot of buildings can be enterable, and quests load automatically. No loading every time you enter a building like Elder Scrolls. No watching a door open like in Resident Evil. So for example, when you get a mission to kill a guy who's ratting to the police, he spawns with his protection in a building. Until then, it's just empty. Most open world games feel empty ambience wise. Metal Gear Solid 5 is an example. The world just feels empty. You don't really see that many soldiers or civilians hanging around. Boiling Point has a lot of pedestrians and passing cars. This game came out in 2005. Games of today, or fairly recently, sometimes don't add life to the world. I mean, just recently I reviewed the 2004 game Mob Enforcer, and I complained about not seeing any ambience in the world. So yeah, believe me when I say that I'm glad to finally see some pedestrians. But see, I can't give this game too much love, because even that fact brings up bugs. I got a mission to help an old lady across the street. Cars just run into me, sometimes passing me and killing the old lady, and I fail the mission. Some people can't walk around cars because their predefined path is very specific. It's hard to tell if your tire is flat and if it has been replaced. The list could go on and on. But when everything works, it looks so nice. Kinda. The reason why I remotely like this game is because of the setting. Being in a South American country during the Civil War is pretty awesome. It sort of reminds me of Far Cry 2 taking place in Africa during the Civil War. You often drive by the government fighting the mafia or some guerrillas. A helicopter will fly around and take pot shots at enemies of the state. This can cause some issues though, as important characters can be killed by this. Oh, you want to buy some gas? Well, the gas guy is dead now. Thanks, helicopter. Other than that, the random events are pretty nice. You also have to stop and show the government your papers to pass through certain checkpoints. Reminds me of Saboteur. The faction system is also very nice. I love games where you have relations with in-game faction. You choose which side you want to join, and in turn this either helps you finding the French man's daughter or makes it harder. This also adds a lot to replayability, as there's many quest lines to explore, even though most of them tend to be fetch quests. The game makes joining a faction relatively simple by having a bunch of important faction members in the bar. You can talk to each one and get details about how to join. Guns aren't allowed in most buildings, so you can't just kill important characters, well except the guerrilla recruiter. You can aim it just right. Bam! Well, there goes my guerrilla relations. Now the government likes me a little more. Well, like everything else so far, it too has some issues. Your car has gas and durability, which is a good, cool thing to do. However, there are no parking lots close to certain objectives. If you park in the road, someone will hit you and damage your car. Parking on the sidewalk is a pretty good idea, but if you nudge a civilian, if you just nudge a civilian and will try to pull off the sidewalk, the civilians will hate you and start to shoot you. Every town you go to will be a nightmare, not to mention the cops will start to hate you too. The game got that much harder. Sometimes a civilian will run over another civilian and somehow that's your fault. People claim that the newest patch fixes this, but it's happened to me a couple times. One time I was trying to talk to the Mafia and they kept shooting me. Even when I finally snuck past them to talk to a dude to get a quest, he hated me. Why? I went to the guy in the bar and he said I did some stuff to tick the whole Mafia off and there's nothing I could do about it. Well, what did I do? Did I accidentally run somebody over? There's no way to gain that reputation back. It's over. Say goodbye to the idea of becoming Pablo Escobar. The gameplay is so great on paper, and it's one of the reasons why there is a cult following of this game, and people call it a flawed classic. Seriously, go to GameSpot or IGN and check out user reviews. There's people who say this game is amazing. There is a tacked-on RPG system. You can get drunk, you can kill the whole town, you can buy a car. Dialogue is Fallout New Vegas level of deep with the amount of response options to choose from. There's a ton of unique characters. There is also a very primitive speech roll attempt system where you can either succeed or fail, but I don't really know what sort of modifies that or if it's just a predefined success rate. I don't know. New Vegas came out 5 years later, by the way. There's also a lot of characters to talk to, and the plot sort of thickens with each one, and you learn a lot about the area. You have to investigate, question people, explore, do some killing, and it all feels very Dick Tracy or Nancy Drew-like. Weapons can be customized. You have a Stalker / Resident Evil 4-like inventory system. You can get tired and have to take naps or go to sleep at a hotel. The map is absolutely gigantic. The game seems perfect, but my goodness, the gunplay is basic, but the AI's aim is incredibly good. You rack up damage so fast there isn't much in the way of effective healing options. You can get addicted to health items, much like the Jet or Psycho in Fallout, but because injections is the best and most convenient way of healing, you will get addicted and it will get annoying. I guess I gotta eat some street fruit and stay healthy. It's a game of trial and error like that of Dark Souls, but mainly due to the freedom. It's unpredictable. The ability to do whatever you want, whenever you want, however you want is an amazing change of pace, but it comes with a price. Everything breaks, and as I said, things get pretty unpredictable. You're not really sure if the guy you're going to kill is going to lower some relations with a faction you want to stand with. You're not really sure that if you're driving through these excursions between the government and the mafia, if driving through this and being an innocent bystander is going to somehow lower your reputation. You don't know that that helicopter in the distance is not killing an essential NPC you need to talk to. You don't know that the road you're driving down is actually a bad part of the road until a tree falls in front and you get shot to death. Well, I guess I gotta reload and just avoid that area the next time. It's a game that requires patience and understanding to enjoy. Like, there's a game here. Believe me, there's a game here. And I love it, and many other people love it too. But because I'm trying to be a little bit unbiased and give a little bit of people heads up, I gotta say that it's gonna be bad for most people. This is a bad game to do a review after I said we got a new scale. You know, before we were doing a thumbs up, thumbs down type thing, well, now we're going to the out of 100 type review scale. Bowling Point is a special kind of beast that cannot be reviewed like a traditional review. Honestly, a GameSpot reviewer from back in the day put my feelings perfectly. Right. The reviewer stands up, paces the room, lights an imaginary cigarette, and stares out the window for half an hour. Returns to his seat, drums his finger on the table for 5 minutes, occasionally casting a half glance back towards the screen where the cursor blinks accusingly. He takes a deep breath, turns towards the keyboard, and that's what happened with me. When I was trying to find something else to talk about this game, I was sort of looking at how other reviewers did this. Like, I was like, how did people tackle this beast? And when I saw this reviewer, the same thing happened to him that happened to me. There's a guy on Instagram who I told I was doing this video because he loves the game the same amount I do, but I couldn't get it done in a timely manner. I made this promise like 2 weeks ago. I just sit on my keyboard and look at the screen and think, how do I explain my feelings toward this game? I really don't want to say it's good, but I really don't want to say it's bad because I love it. You hear the pain in my voice right now? It's a game that I love and that I hate at the same time. I shake my head, I scream in anger, but I enjoy every minute. A review just doesn't do it justice. Maybe one day I'll attempt a long play, but believe me, there's stuff in this hours of footage that I filmed that I'm not showing that just make me smile and other times make me really upset. Realistically, this game deserves a 50 out of 100, a perfect 50-50 answer, an untamed beast with admirable features belittled by the horrendous bugs and janky gameplay. I got Bowling Point sealed for $6. Check it out if you can track down a legitimate copy. The only way to truly experience this game is to play it yourself. I'm Elijah Moon Blackwell. Thank you so much for watching. And the next little reviews has got me a little excited, and I finally decided what long play I wanted to do. So stick around for that. As always, don't forget to check out our website, CD-ROMfossil.com, and follow me on Instagram. I'm pretty active over there. If you really want to like talk to me, I'm pretty responsive in the comment section of YouTube, but on Instagram, dude, I talk to people a lot. Like you know, I'm all the time. But that's besides the point. I'm gonna go lay down. I got a headache. Bowling Point is wearing me sick, like a worried mother fretting over her child. That was a weird metaphor.